If you are trying to eat healthier but don't have time to cook every day, this video is for you. I'm sharing my weekend meal prep with you, high protein meals for the whole week. Nothing complicated, just real, practical food that actually works. So on the menu today is spinach and salmon crustless quiche, meatballs with roasted vegetables, chicken stir fry with cauliflower rice, and last but my favorite, bean and goat cheese salad. Let's get started. Here are the ingredients for crustless quiche. I have a 14 ounces can of pink salmon, 4 eggs. I have some egg whites, a cup of chopped onions, a cup of chopped tomatoes, and spinach. So those are the big ingredients, and then of course salt, pepper, and other seasoning. Crack and whisk your eggs to add your egg whites, spinach, tomatoes go in, and then is your onions. I think I'm going to add just half a cup. Okay, and then you have your salmon. To break it all apart, mix and mix. Okay, so I mixed it well to break apart the salmon pieces, and now comes the seasoning. I have some crushed red pepper, salt, black pepper. Of course, the seasoning is up to what your preference is going to be. Okay, and a little bit of Italian seasoning goes in. Mix, mix, mix. I'm going to put a bit more salt. I'm going to just lightly coat the oven-safe dish with some avocado spray. Pour the mixture in and top it with some cheese. So everything is better with some cheese. So now this goes into the oven at 350 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. Let's move on to the roasted vegetables and some meatballs. I'll start with some vegetables that I already did cut. I have some sweet potatoes, some regular potatoes, and some zucchini. And I will just go ahead and drizzle some olive oil and some seasoning to go with it. For the seasoning, what I'm doing is salt, then goes pepper, I like this seasoning, which is the everything bagel seasoning. I always like to have this on my roasted vegetables, so a generous sprinkle of that, and then some smoked paprika. So that's it, a simple seasoning mix. You can of course choose whatever you prefer. Give it a little toss, and it goes into the oven for about 30 minutes. Here are your main ingredients for meatballs. I have beef, about 2 pounds. I did chop some vegetables. This is 1 onion, 1.5 tomatoes, and 1 serrano pepper. And this is 1 zucchini that I chopped in a food processor. Then this is 4 big cloves of garlic and a small piece of ginger and some cilantro. In the meat goes your vegetables. This is onion, tomatoes, and a pepper. I did squeeze the liquid out. Then is your zucchini. It also was very watery, so I squeezed the liquid out. Otherwise, it can make your material for the meatballs to be too runny and hard to handle. And then is your ginger, garlic, and your cilantro. All goes in. You're going to go in and mix, mix, mix. Okay, so I cleaned up and changed my container because that little thing wasn't really working. So I'm ready to spice this thing up. I have this spice container, which I love. It keeps all the spices organized. So I'm pretty much eyeballing. I have crushed red pepper. This is coriander powder. This is cumin seeds. A little bit of cumin powder. I do have one green chili already in the mixture, so I'm just adding just a little bit of red chili, a little bit of black pepper. Of course, you can spice it up or down based on what your preference is, and at the end goes your salt. Okay, mix and we'll be ready to make some meatballs. Rolling it up into a ball. I think this looks like a decent size. Now I do make meatballs mostly with chicken. This actually is the first time I'm trying this with beef, so I'll see how this goes. So my meatball tray is now ready to go into the oven. Okay, so the quiche is ready. Okay, so the next thing on my meal prep list today is chicken with vegetable stir fry. So I have this boneless chicken thighs. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt and pepper and cook the chicken. So adding a little bit of olive oil. Then goes the chicken. A little bit of salt. Some pepper. And cook it till it's fully done. I have this bag of fire roasted bell peppers and onions. After the chicken is done, I'm going to go ahead and stir fry them real quick. In the same oil, I'm adding a little bit of garlic. These are 3 cloves of garlic, just chopped. Once they start to change color, you can add this packet of fire roasted bell peppers and onion. Putting back the chicken. So a little bit of vinegar. Soy sauce. Salt. And pepper. Since it was frozen vegetables, they did let out of a lot of liquid, so I added a little bit of cornstarch to thicken it. Just took out the roasted vegetables. For the cauliflower rice, I just got this bag of frozen cauliflower, microwaved it for 2 minutes, and it's ready to just have a little bit of a touch of homemade something, and we'll be good to go. So I have in the pan some olive oil, and rice is going to go in. So in the rice goes a little bit of salt, pepper, some fresh cilantro, and a squeeze of lemon. We'll mix it up a little bit, get it going on high heat, and this should be done. Okay, so here's what we got. I have this cauliflower rice, meatballs are ready as well. And then is the stir-fried chicken with vegetables, some roasted vegetables, and the crustless quiche. For the salad, I have a little bit of lettuce, some tomatoes, canned beetroot, and some black beans. Salad dressing is a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, half a lemon squeeze, some Dijon mustard, and salt and pepper. I'll mix it up and top it with some goat cheese. There you have it. These are my weekend meal prep ideas. I made some cauliflower rice with chicken stir fry, high in protein, low carbohydrate, and a good healthy meal that you can eat for lunch or dinner. Then is the meatballs along with some roasted vegetables and a salad on the side. You can do the chicken version of it and make the chicken meatballs if you prefer chicken. And then is this quiche.